What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sisko and Mike Podcast. We got a little something different today. I don't know why Mike's looking at me a little weird, but we got no special guests, but we got a band of characters here. This is the whole podcast crew. And yeah, it's a little weird. You know, obviously, you know me, you know Mike, but you don't know Saul, who is colorblind and deaf in 1 year. But for some reason, he's our audio guy and visual guy. And we're not joking about that. That's actually legit. Then we got Eric, the intern, graphic designer. And we just had like a 30-minute long conversation because we don't know what the fuck a graphic designer is, but we got one on the podcast.
You gonna let him explain for a little bit? Like, you got 3 minutes, fool.
Well, that's a long.
You got 1 minute.
3 minutes is a long time.
Does.
Well, what do I do for you guys?
Make our logos.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Can you do the in the layout that they want you to do it?
I have no idea what those layouts are.
The whole point is explain to the fucking people what
you don't have to get angry at me.
Yeah, like, I know you're mad at us for earlier.
No, I'm not mad.
Okay, so what is?
You guys are taking it offensive.
Can you explain
I'm
to the
legitimately
viewers?
asking.
Can you explain to the viewers what a graphic designer does so that they could understand?
Yeah. Can you cut?
He's on it.
A graphic designer makes stuff to communicate visually in any medium because most people don't have all the knowledge that it requires to use text, to use color, to use shape in the right way, and the most effective way to communicate to the most broad amount of people.
Cool.
See,
30 seconds.
we didn't have to go 30 minutes long into it like we earlier before.
That was a different discussion.
We went into the Romans and the Greeks for some fuckers.
Because that's the
This
philosophy.
guy, hey,
I mean,
get that way.
we gotta get it because that's
No,
the
you're
philosophy
good.
behind
You
it.
fucking, you're a badass for what you do. We appreciate you.
Yeah, so obviously you guys know that this shit's we got a crew, we got a team, and that's one of the most important things, you know, to make this shit go. It's not just me and Mike all the time. Even though Mike and I have known each other for a long time, we've known these guys pretty much our whole lives too.
Yeah, I've known that guy since he was a baby.
Since I was
Hey, does that make you guys feel weird working together on this shit?
No. I mean, I think out of all my brothers, him and my other brother, the one who's 4 years younger than me, I think I'm the closest to them. I think we kind of relate to each other because we're almost alike. And then that fool looks just like me in the skinnier version. So
Hey, does that make you feel bad, fool? Like, look, damn, that's what I'm gonna look like.
Nah, because
he's taller than me, fool.
we all look different in our own ways.
Yeah.
We look similar, but
We have the nose and shit, and the hair. If
hey,
I
we
let it
should
grow,
we should have like a family thing where we see whose nose is the biggest.
hey, you might have the nose on me, dog. I used to have a bigger
Right here,
nose.
huh?
but-
Would you get it done or what?
No, I'm thinking about getting it done. I wanted to since I was growing up. I always complain about my nose, that and my mole.
Hey, what if you get a 2-for-1 special, Dick? You
I
do
don't know.
no,
People
but-
tell me not to cut it.
No. Do the remember how you were telling us
comes
about
back.
you were telling us off air about with who was it? With Super Ego. You were talking about the vasectomy.
Oh.
About going in for the
Well,
vasectomy.
good bringing out my fucking personal business, but okay.
No, like 2-for-1 special, Doug.
I don't know. I don't think the vasectomy is kind of like scary, fool.
Hey, fool, that was a funny ass story, Doug.
I know the doctor fucking tripped me out.
Wait, what did he tell you?
Oh, you weren't here for that
You
one,
weren't
huh?
here, huh? Nah,
No,
he's
he
just
took
the
a
way he
break.
explained it, fool. He fucking scared me. And then after he scared me for like 20 minutes on the phone, he's like, "Do you want to come in tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna think about that shit."
What did he tell you though? That scared you?
Well, you gotta
'Cause
watch the
you're- 'cause
episode. You gotta watch Super Ego episode.
No, well,
I was
he
here.
no, it's not on the air.
Oh, it's not on the
It
air?
was
Oh, never
before.
I was here.
But it was funny. That's when you took your break, your restroom break. But it's funny because you were talking about that shit, thinking about that shit too, right?
yeah.
So that's one of the things too, because you mentioned I never knew all that shit that they told you.
Well, it's
Hold
weird
on,
because
hold
I was asking,
I'm intrigued.
remember that the weekend, and then she was like, "No, that's not the way." But again, she's a female, so she's probably giving her perspective as her POV as a nurse. But I don't know, dog. It's just,
I need to know.
I mean, I'm not trying to, huh?
I need to know.
I'll tell you off record, bro. I'll
No,
tell
just
you.
say it right now because that was pretty interesting, dog. I never knew any of that shit.
I mean, I don't want to be graphic for it. He was just
It's not
saying
graphic.
about how he talks about. He was very monotonous, fool. He was very like fucking one of those doctors who's like, and this is gonna happen, and this is the probability of happening, and it's kind of like, when somebody talks to you that way, it has power and it scares you and shit, right? So
That fool scared me, fool.
like, he was talking about like
I
my
don't even
nuts are gonna be swollen, and every time I asked him a question, I said, "So what happens to the sperm?" Like
It still comes out.
Yeah, but it's not like fully loaded sperm. It's like
It's dead sperm.
No.
no, like it's not like actual sperm. It's
Say
just,
it the way you said it, fool. Your body eats it, fool.
he said your body absorbs the sperm, your balls absorb it, and they swell up.
Well, the same way that like when you don't jerk off, your body just absorbs it. It doesn't just keep
blue
the same.
balls? You got blue balls?
It doesn't
That's
just keep the sperm.
different, though.
Yeah,
No, it's the same thing.
Blue balls, but blue balls, you
no,
get
that's
it.
not that.
builds
That's
up
not what I'm
sperm.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
but
don't-
you could jerk off or whatever, or you could have sex and
Yeah, but-
unload it. But this you cannot unload anymore. Like you can't even unload it even if you jerk off.
But let's say you don't jerk off for a whole day. You think your sperm is just sitting there all day?
yeah, but my balls are not
No,
hurting.
your
fool.
body's eating it. Your body's eating your sperm and making new
That's
sperm.
true. How does it
I
die?
eat
How
sperm.
does it
No,
go?
what the
Hey,
fuck?
hey, that,
You're a cum guzzler?
technically, hey, fool, all men are swallowers, dog.
Yeah.
I absorbed it.
No,
How does it taste?
Yeah,
Huh?
absorbing and swallowing.
I
There,
absorbed my balls eat the shit again.
Because your balls are making fresh sperm all day, so
That's
like
true.
it's killing, and your body's eating it all the time. For real?
Yeah, this motherfucker came with knowledge.
Hey,
today.
Well, it's true.
Did they teach you that shit in graphic design?
No, I learned that shit in 7th grade.
Hey, how would you interpret that as a graphic?
That's those graphic designers that make
Maybe
the.
you should give him my doctor phone. Give him a.
Actually, those
graphic
people make a
design
lot of
shit.
money. The people that draw the like illustrations for medical shit, they make
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
money.
Big pharma, fool. You know,
Yeah.
we're
Well,
not
no.
even gonna go down that rabbit.
How do we
hole.
get to
Mon- yeah.
fucking swallowing sperm and all kinds of shit?
I don't know. We got into the
That shit went-
Those people make a
we're
lot
talking
of
about
money.
the nose. No, but I think I've always wanted to get my nose done, just because of this. But I mean, at this point, I don't know, dog. You know,
What?
Fuck.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's scarier as I'm getting older. I think when I was younger, I'd probably be more down. But the
Yeah.
older I get, it's like fuck.
To
You
get
think
nose
because of health reasons? I mean, but
No,
no,
not
surgery's
health reasons. It's just scary, fool. You start like thinking like, or you start hearing all these fucking bad things that happen at doctors, like all these what is
Well,
it called?
What the fuck? You gonna go to TJ to do it, or
I don't know. I've never had my nose done, so I don't know how much it costs.
What
I
if you don't
know.
like it?
Hey,
how
that's
it
another
looks?
thing. Yeah, what happens if I'm used to the way I look?
And you're just like, fuck, how do I
So
go back?
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
damn, that's true. I never even thought about that shit. How when people fucking go through with surgeries, like
yeah.
the first sign when they look at themselves is like,
Fuck. Like when you get a bad haircut, you know, you gotta wait a couple
Yeah.
weeks and then you're good.
and
But
your nose
You know
driving.
that-
you're
One time
fucked.
they fucked up my eyebrow, fool, in a haircut.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Were they cutting your eyebrows or what?
No, the fucking lady was.
She went-
I
No,
went.
because they go
Fuck
like
is-
this. sometimes.
Yeah, so they were going like that,
Yeah.
but the lady wasn't even paying attention. She was fucking comadreando.
With you?
No, with some. I went to you remember where we lived in Barnes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to have a barber, Juaritos in Amani, and then what's the one on Fraser in
And
Ramona.
Francisquito, no?
Francisquito and Ramona? Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't Ramona. The one.
Francisquito and Fraser, fool, or whatever. So I used to go there on Amani, and then this one time it was like a weekend, and it was last minute, and I knew they were closed, so I went to the barbershop, the salon, in the corner. By the way, we're gonna talk about that in our episodes, right? We're gonna talk about episodes, or we're talking about shows. I just watched the Married with Children episode where Al, his barber dies. I don't remember that, and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna go to a salon. So, anyways, I went to a salon, and the lady was fucking cutting. It was like an old paisa lady.
Yeah.
Like, she was probably in her 50s and shit. And she was there with her homegirl, with her comadre. And she was cutting my hair, right? She was going like that. But she was looking away when she went, and half my eyebrow was gone, fool.
If we just say you were doing the Nelly dick before
No,
Nelly,
fuck that shit, fool.
should put a little curita and shit.
Yeah, right. I didn't want to go to school, fool. I think I was in 8th grade or 9th grade. I didn't
What the
wanna go to
fuck? I don't remember that.
school. Yeah, they shaved my head. My eyebrow.
They go back fast though.
Hey,
Eyebrows,
but-
eyebrows go back fast.
Why would you go to a salon though, fool?
I just told you, my barbershop was closed.
But you find fool. Look, fool.
I was fucking 13,
That-
fool.
that's-
I don't even have a
that's-
car.
That's one of the most sacred things, fool, ever. Fucking barbershops. Your barber.
Yeah.
That's like loyalty shit, fool. Like when your barbershop closes, your barber goes
you don't
somewhere
cut
else.
your hair?
You follow unless they go out of state and shit.
Well, yeah, but they were closed for the day, and I needed a haircut for the weekend. Like, it was like late at night, and I was gonna go to a party, and I needed my fucking haircut. I didn't even go to the party for because my fucking.
They're
eyebrow
not
was
really your
gone.
barber then, fool.
Huh?
They're not really your barber then. You gotta
Well,
have that connection, dog.
But back then, there was no even cell phones, fool.
Like for you guys, do you guys have like this connection with barbers? Because I do. I have like, for example, I've only had like 3 barbers in my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, my dad would take me to some lady in LA. When we moved to Baldwin Park, we would still drive to Southgate every fucking week to get our haircuts.
Mm-hmm. Then
Then once I got older in junior high and all this, high school actually, I had another barber. Right?
Where
And
did you go to in high school?
I used to go to the shop right there by the In-N-Out, right across the street from the In-N-Out.
Oh, it became a meat market.
No,
The
that's
Supercuts?
no, it's not Supercuts. I will never go to
No, no,
Supercuts.
It's like the
no.
two-story building, right?
It was a
Yeah,
Supercuts.
The two-story
it
building.
was a meat market after too.
Oh, well, I guess
It was
And
a
then it was like a
Supercuts
feed
for a
and
while
shit.
too. It was for sure a Supercuts.
A Supercuts?
Yeah, I remember.
Nah.
No,
No,
I'm sure it was a
Supercuts
Supercuts.
was over there by the Food for Less
Game
and all
Creek.
that.
Oh
shopping
no, you're
center.
right. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Increase.
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
and then after now I got my current barber, right?
Mhm.
And it's like but it took me a while to find a barber. Like I experiment and it's like, no, like I can't go to this, I can't go to that. But once you find that person, that's just funny how I'm saying like you fucking like a relationship shit. Like once you find that person, it's like it becomes like this thing where it's like
A connection.
the
a bond.
connection fool, you just have it and you boom, like you just fucking like I can't see
I didn't have
myself-
money like you, fool, back then, so I used to find the $5 barbers, fool.
fool, but that's what I'm saying. Even the one across the street from the In-N-Out was like that $10 haircut, I think it was.
That shit was
At the
expensive
time.
for me at the time.
And then now the prices are pretty
Yeah, now you
expensive
pay
and
like
shit.
35, $50.
And that's the reason you decided to go bald?
No, just I like my hair. I don't like curly hair, fool.
No?
I have curly hair.
Why
Sure.
don't you like it? What's wrong with curly hair?
Oh, it doesn't look good on me, chubby, being big, you know. If I was skinnier, I would probably let my hair grow like solito. But because that's how it looks.
I know. But anyways, dog, back to the point. But it's funny because I did meet you when you were fucking looking like Saul with the short
when I was
curly
Corey,
hair.
little Corey.
Yeah. We met in elementary school and shit. And honestly, like I was thinking about it because we were kind of talk about it today. I don't know how the fuck we became friends and how the fuck we stayed friends.
I know how we became friends. You lived 3 houses down from me, fool.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know that even before that. I didn't know that.
Well, no, we met in 5th grade, and then we played. I liked playing sports, whether I was good on them or not.
That's right.
And we were on the basketball team. Remember, we were on the Elwyn basketball
Yeah.
team, and your dad would always take us to the games because my
Mhm.
dad didn't fucking take me nowhere for shit. So you lived 3 houses down, and I remember being in the basketball team, and then everybody lived within the area, fool. I mean,
We all lived on the same street.
Jaime Orozco lived across the street from you. I mean, across the street. Freddie lived around the corner. Musico lived down the street. I mean, everybody lived in that street, fool, on Barnes. So everybody went to the same elementary. And I remember I needed a ride to Morgan Park, and you were like, "Fuck it, fool, just come to my house at this time and we'll bounce." And I remember going with your dad would always take us to the game. Your dad would always take us to the game. So, and then in the summer you would go to the pool. You would go to Sierra Vista, and I was like, "Well, fuck it." And then I would go and fucking hit you up. I remember on the wall. The wall was fucking big. I was little, and I would be like, "Let's go." And then you would come out and fucking pop your head over. All right, and then we would bounce with your sister.
Damn.
And that's how we did it. Fool. And so we kicked it. We didn't really kick it. Like we were never like, we would kick it in the summer, and then we would go to like the little teenage parties we started having, like at Preki's house and fucking
Yeah.
little kickbacks, little whatever, right? But I think in high school we all had our own crews. Like we didn't kick it in high school, but we always kicked it.
But in junior high we did though. I remember we went.
Junior
through
high
a
we
little
did.
phase.
Junior high we did, but then junior high we were trying to do the breaking shit. Remember? We
I
were
was
trying to be
elementary,
breakers.
fool. And junior
That
high-
was
in-
6
in
to-
junior high we were paisas.
Well, we went through it 6th through 7th grade. I think we were trying to be breakers, and then in 8th grade we were paisas. And then I said that shit's not for me. I'm like that. I'm not cool with that tight pants shit. And then in 9th grade, I think we went to 9th grade. You started kicking it with the ballers. That's what we call them, the basketball players.
The athletes.
Not the athletes, the basketball players.
The athletes. We played
Because
football
there was
and
the soccer
basketball.
players.
Yeah, but that's different. We were the athletes. We played football and basketball. And,
Well, I don't remember you
Baseball.
playing football. That's the thing.
yeah, I played football.
I remember you playing basketball, and you kicked it with the basketball players, the ballers, and then there was the soccer players, and then I kicked it with the desmadrosos. That was me. I like that lifestyle, so I started kicking it with the desmadrosos. But then I would go to the wall. Remember the walls?
Yeah.
Everybody had a fucking wall, and then I would go kick it with this fool. Sometimes we'd say, "Hey, what's up?"
We had a wall too. Huh?
Yeah, everybody had walls and shit. So I would go with the soccer players, and then I would talk to some of the fools there. And then I played soccer too. I was in the JV and the varsity team. And then I would go back to the Desmadrosos, you know what I'm saying? And we still kept in contact. It's not like we never fucking kicked it. It was just, we kind of had a little cruise. And then I think towards the end of high school, we started clicking back up again. Where I started throwing parties, and then
Actually, no, I don't think in high school. I think it was after high school when you were going to the military.
but
That-
it was the senior year.
The senior year when we graduated that summer.
Yeah,
That's when we
yeah.
started getting closer again.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
And I started throwing a lot of parties, and then you would come down to my parties because
I
You were
didn't-
not allowed to throw parties and shit.
And I didn't have to drink and drive. I just walk and drive.
Yeah, he was just walk and drive and shit. I mean, walk
Walk and
walk.
drive.
walk. I used to hate going to your house, fool, because remember it was 3 houses from my house to your house, and there was a fucking big ass German Shepherd. Remember?
Oh yeah, with the little
With
ass
the little
gate.
ass fence, fool, and he would always run up to the gate, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna bite me. And I remember he wouldn't jump the fence, even though this motherfucker was a beast.
Or
fool.
he wouldn't
was-
even like it was like this tall, literally like the chair's height. The dog was like this big.
That shit was this big, fool, and the fucking big ass dog that could have just jumped over, he wouldn't jump it.
He would even put his legs up, fool.
Yeah, he would be like,
Yeah.
roar, 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 roar. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he wouldn't bite us, but yeah, that shit was scary going to your house. And then I would hate going out around this way at night because there was
The little alley.
the little
The
alley.
nursery.
Yeah, no, not the nursery. Nursery was over
There's
there. by
another
the
little
school.
Oh,
alley.
yeah.
There's an alley behind your
Behind my street.
your street,
Yeah.
and there was an open lot or like a house with a big ass open
The
lot.
haunted house.
The haunted house, yeah. Everybody used to say, "Oh, you can see fucking shit there." So I used to hate walking through there at night because I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, I told you, everybody knows I'm a pussy when it comes to ghosts. But
That nursery too, though.
yeah, the nursery
That nursery.
crossing through the middle.
Yeah.
You know, coming back, fool, at night through the nursery.
Fucking scary.
I used to see, used to pop in my head.
What?
The Exorcist,
Why though?
because I was fucked up in the head. I guess I would cross through the middle.
You
and
start
I'm just
running?
like,
Hey, fool,
fool.
that movie really traumatized you,
That
huh?
movie really
Hey,
fucked me
it
up, yeah.
traumatized me too.
For real?
Yeah. for a
Why
while.
though? Like, what
They
was
would
it?
scare me with it.
Fool, that's the devil, fool. Like, and then hearing all the shit that happened to cast members. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard.
No, I didn't hear.
Dick, people died on set. Like a lot of weird shit happened on set.
I think the little girl, she's
Yeah,
fucked up.
It fucked her up for years.
She went like MIA for a while just because she like her
What
mental
is
was
this, Linda Blair? What the fuck is her name?
That's a
I'm not
Blair Witch
sure.
project, eh?
No, the real girl. Her real name is Linda Blair. Where's that statistics guy? Or-
I'm not, you told me to
What
put
happened?
on-
We're not
we,
doing
had
that.
to- we turned off our phones. What do you mean?
Oh shit!
You're, hey, you have a master's
Is it
in
Selma Blair or Linda
statistics.
Blair?
I don't know.
Selma Blair is the actress from Cruel Intentions.
Okay, so it's Linda Blair.
Linda
Look, I
Blair.
got my phone. I don't give a fuck. I'll put it on.
But yeah, I don't see, like, I've seen that movie, but I don't think it ever really traumatized me like that. Like, I understood it was a movie, and this is coming from the guy that's seen fucking. I've seen a lot of shit. I know some of you guys too. You know, like I know Mike and Saul. You guys lived in a fucking haunted house.
That'll fuck you up, fool.
But like I never understood why people would fucking take it to that extreme either.
Of being scared of something like that, like a movie.
Yeah, it's Linda Blair. Told you.
But
That's-
what? So she went crazy?
Supposedly she saw shit after, like for a long time. I mean, they brought her back in the last movie. I don't know if you've seen the last Exorcist movie.
I mean,
I didn't like it.
So
See,
like
but-
PR. I
yeah,
feel like.
but then, dude,
It
that's also
was,
like a placebo
bunch of
effect, fool.
fucking
Like,
church
I don't
shit.
know.
Like it's also placebo effects and shit. Like you work on this shit and you start hearing shit because obviously that's what you're dealing with.
Well, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, fool. It's not just that, fool. Like I've been fucking around, and then, okay. So for example, yesterday I took the girls to Barnes and Noble, right? And I like going through the occult section. Like I like looking at those books. I like to read up on it, even though I'm not trying to do anything like that. It's just interesting to me. So I've read books about Satan. I've read books about witchcraft. You know, I read books about all kinds of shit. I don't practice it. I don't do anything, but I do respect it. I had a book about astrology. No, it was a book about.
So fucking
No,
Walter
no.
Mercado and shit. I'm a Leo fool talking about my moon
No, it
rising.
wasn't astrology. It was a book about the history of witchcraft and shit like that, right?
Mhm.
And se me cayó, güey. It fell on the floor, and I was with my girls, my 2 daughters, right? And it fell on the fucking floor, and I picked it up, and I'm like, literally, this is me, okay? This is how superstitious I am. I'm going, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop you, blah 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 blah. I say it out loud, and my daughter, Angelique, was like, "Are you really saying that, Dad?" And I was just like, "Yeah, what's wrong?" So why are you saying that, Dad? And then I was like, "It's just out of respect. I believe in shit." What do you mean, bro?
Bro, that book was printed on a printing press, dog.
I
Like,
know,
Yeah.
but you gotta understand, for my belief system, it's more like,
And the history
So
of witches, that's probably not even about like witchcraft.
I got you, but it doesn't matter. It's just like when I went to New Orleans and I walked into one of the voodoo stores or whatever, like a dumbass, obviously like a tourist. I walk in there recording this shit. Oh shit, because I think it's cool, but I think it's interesting. And I'm not
Where'd you
trying-
go?
Huh?
Where'd you go?
New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
So that was in the French Quarter, on what was that street? Bourbon Street.
Urban.
They have a bunch of shops that towards the end they're like about voodoo and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I was recording, fool, and I was fucking, all excited, right? Oh, shit. And I turned to my left, and there was a sign on the wall that says, no recording or photography or the spirits will follow you. And I was like, a la verga, güey. I pressed stop. I am so sorry. I did not know. Like, I'm apologizing, fool.
You believe the sign?
No, it's not the sign. It's not the sign. It's the culture behind it. It's
But you know,
I get what you mean, because I don't believe, like, for witchcraft and stuff like that, I'm not scared at all. But like stuff that I do respect is more like, for example, like sculptures, like Indian sculptures. It's super disrespectful to them because they see them as like real deities. It's super similar to like the voodoo mask stuff.
Well, I think anything that's religious to somebody, if it's sacred to them, why would you?
It's like a Bible, like you said about the printing press. Like at the end of the day, it's printed on paper.
I think it's more just out of respect, like you said, where it's more just like, why would you just like leave it? Why would you?
Yeah, see, like, look.
I've apologized to monas, dick, to dolls.
Mm-hmm.
This is the funny part. And Fool apologizes to everybody except for us and shit. Every time, every time you do something, and shit, you fucking don't apologize for shit, fool. But
you're not all powerful, fool.
But it makes sense.
Apologize in a book.
The way he said it makes sense, though. That's why I agree with it, because I don't believe in like I don't not do stuff like that because I'm scared that I'm actually gonna get haunted. But it's more of just like someone believes in it, so might as well like.
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like don't be disrespectful.
Look, I
but it's not even that. It's I don't want to be haunted.
Look, we all grew up Mexican, right? I grew up Mexican too. My mom's super religious, right? So I grew up with all the stories in Mexico. My mom grew up in she lived in a paper shack, right, made out of cardboard in a house. She would see all kinds of shit, right? So she has all kinds of stories, and obviously these stories from my grandma. I have family members who that believe in witchcraft. Like, yeah, I get the respect where you respect things. But at the same time, it's like, if you acknowledge them, then you're only adding fuel to the fire to yourself at the same time. Like, don't get me wrong, fool.
Well, I'm not going to ignore them either.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of shit that I've seen. I can't explain. Like, when people tell me, you're like, oh, I'm not religious. Why? Because of, whatever, right? There's a lot of things behind it. But I do believe in weird shit and higher powers and things like that. Like, I believe in Indian fucking reservation lands and spirits and anything that's energy, fool. Like it you respect it, you acknowledge it, right? But to give it more life than it is, like, I think that's where you're hurting yourself in that sense.
I don't think I'm giving it more life, fool. I'm just think I'm also, I've seen a lot of shit too. I've seen a lot of shit that I can't explain, but a lot of shit that is explainable, even when it's unexplainable. I don't know if that fucking makes sense, but I've seen a lot of shit to know, like, I don't fear it as much as I used to. So I don't give it life in that sense. It's more like I know it's there, so I'm not going to fuck with it. I'm not going to mess with it because it's kind of like I've seen, I've felt shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 100%. Not like I've seen. It's I felt it. Not going to ignore it. It's more like I can't just say, well, I'm not going to give you life, but I'm going to pretend that you're not here. Nah, that just shit don't work that way, fool, because it won't pretend that you're not there. I don't know if it makes sense.
It's funny because we're in our 30s, right? We have like two guys that are younger, right? Yeah. And I think you and I grew up a little different.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about this with my mom too. Like, I feel like the generation's kind of changing, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever thought about this as well, but like the next generation, I feel like our age, there was a lot of first gens, a lot. Yeah. Why? Because there's a lot of immigration in the 40s, 50s, 60s, right?
That's not even first gen. For first gen, then that means you would have been at second.
No, but I'm saying there was a huge influx. No, because my mom was born in 63. My dad was born in 55. So I'm saying there's a lot of immigrants that came in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. I feel like, I'm not sure. I don't know the stats. Fucking,
I think it was like 80s to like.
But yeah,
no,
but
you're right.
But that whole time. Right. But they were already older, right? A lot of parents migrated during that time, through the last like 50 years, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of first gens. So now the second gens are obviously like these guys, right?
Second and third gens more.
Exactly. So like,
well, wouldn't we be?
You're still
first gen still,
but no, the way you're being raised,
because we're under my mom's.
Yeah,
well, yeah, you're like first generation.
My daughter is third generation.
But I'm saying the way you guys are being raised, the way you guys were raised was different than you and I were raised.
I think age gap wise, that's what he meant. You're still first generation.
Yeah.
because they were because they were here a shorter period. That's what I'm trying to say. Like our parents, right?
Yeah.
So they were kind of accustomed. They had one kid. They had to learn through us. We're both the oldest.
Yeah.
So they had to learn through us.
Yeah, I think
like the
I think
mistakes.
this is all true. Yeah, I think this is all.
So like, has the whole fucking brujeria, witchcraft, ghost shit, has that changed for you? Like specifically you, because I know that you still believe in it because you grew up with your mom and you grew up around your brother and all that shit. But like you're still in college. You know, you both are still in college. But
people
like
believe in
that mindset.
but it's different. Like, I don't. It's not like that where they're scared of it. There's so many people who are into it, just like doing it. Like, like mostly girls. Like girls that are like into like astrology and stuff like that. Like they get into like witch stuff, like occult stuff.
I think astrology is big now.
It is.
It's always been big. Fool. Look at Walter Mercado was a huge icon.
but I think
It's a
now
gateway
it's like
drug.
everybody's like, "What are you?" The first question people ask now is like, when you meet somebody, it's like, "What are you? What's sign are you?"
Yeah.
Oh, I can't talk to you because, you know, you fucking.
I've never
said-
had that.
My book said that you fucking.
I've never had that, and I'm a Gemini, and people hate on Geminis the most. I've never had someone be like, I don't want to talk
Well,
to you.
I'm the best sign, so I don't give a fuck.
What are you?
I'm an Aries.
Yeah, people like Aries.
I'm a Leo.
People hate you too.
Yeah, they hate me too. They love me. They love and hate me.
I have a lot of mixed emotions.
What are you?
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
What do you mean by mixed
Yeah,
emotions? Is
people
that your
people
sign
like
or is
you.
that your?
No. Like I get a lot of mixed emotions.
He's like,
Oh,
I'm a
you-
Scorpio and I cry.
even that shit trips me out, fool. But you know what the fucking weird thing is that a lot of this shit when you read it out loud, yeah,
It does make
It
sense,
makes
huh?
fucking sense.
Well,
fool.
who's
That's
the
really true.
who's the
That's
one
the
that said
issue.
it? Who's the one that brought it out? It was SCP. Was it
S-
SPC PCP coast?
Yeah,
You know what? That's a good idea. Actually, we should like to see if it actually matches with you. Just read them like the traits blind of like stuff and be like, oh, that one's me, to see if it actually lines
Look,
up.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I read this shit, and yes, a lot of it matches with what the fuck goes on. I think that, like any statistics out there, people have gathered data on all the signs right over the years
Yeah.
and said, okay, this is the most like common shit. So when you read something like that, it does say, oh, that's me.
Oh,
I think it's more of
But this has
the
been around for years, no?
yeah. Astrology has been around. It's one of the
So
oldest.
from one of the from
Yeah.
Greek times.
Yeah.
So you got to
Exactly.
think about it at
I
that
have
point.
a
How
question.
do you
What's up?
get all the statistics?
on the other side, do you guys think that like for men or for like the opposite? Because that's mostly for like women. Like, let's be real.
I'm not gonna lie. I believe in astrology.
Actually, wait, don't.
But like stop. Let's
I-
be real. It's mostly
Yes.
women. You're gonna
No,
say it's,
but I believe in astrology.
Okay,
He's not
that's-
saying
yeah,
it's
I'm not
just
saying-
for
but it's-
women. He's
I,
saying it's
I don't think
mainly
it's
women.
just mainly women anymore.
Look,
No,
I
I
don't
think
think so.
so. I think it
at
is.
our live show, you know, remember Jim, Psychic Jim,
Mhm.
AJ's friend. He he asked me for the time of birth,
Yeah, but
the
that's
day
their
I was
job.
born. No, wait, but like all the shit he said, fool. He literally broke it down. Hey, you're going on a trip this weekend, right? I was like, holy shit! I was
He
going
said
to
that?
I was going to Wisconsin,
You
fool.
don't know.
You know what?
Maybe he le dijeron.
No way.
How would he know? No, I didn't tell anybody.
No?
It's numerology too. Fool. Do
Yeah.
you believe in numerology?
But
I
how the
don't.
fuck does numerology mean you're going on a fucking trip?
That's what
this
I was
weekend?
gonna ask you, because like that's actually a good example. I do think they're like very similar numerology. Like I was
Tie them
gonna,
in together.
I was gonna bring up like there's a lot of people who believe in like alpha male, like
Beta.
or like sigma or whatever. I think like that's very similar to like the astrology thing. Like people think they fit into these categories.
What if somebody thinks they're an alpha male, but somebody else on the outside doesn't think they're an alpha male? Does that affect it?
100%.
I think, yeah.
But that-
Because then it's
does
not
it? I don't
really.
know.
That's
Well,
their own
it's-
perspective.
It goes
at that
back
point.
to our earlier conversation about he's saying
graphic design.
no. Think about it. Think about how it goes back to that. He's saying I don't know. This is what this is, and I'm like I don't give a fuck what you think it is. This is what I think it is. So it goes back to the point of you think you're an alpha male, but everybody else is just a beta male or whatever, or sigma, or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah,
So I
But-
think it's what you think of yourself.
yeah.
And I think it's what happens in your life. If you think you're an alpha male and you're happy with that, whether everybody else thinks you're a fucking
But then what does
beta
it?
male,
But
I
then what
think
does it matter then?
That's just stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
stupid as fuck.
exactly.
The whole alpha and beta, fool. Put it this way. Look, we're all alpha in different scenarios and different situations.
That's what I just fucking said. If
No,
you think you're alpha in whatever the fuck, why would it matter what these fuckers are saying?
Yeah.
I think honestly, as society, as
Do you
people,
consider yourself an alpha male?
I don't consider myself anything.
But it's the same thing as like the astrology thing, because like who
Honestly,
cares
it's not about being
if
okay.
you
So
believe you're
you know what? I'll answer that
this.
question. I consider myself an alpha male in certain things. there's certain things that I'm lacking that I know I'm not even gonna consider myself an alpha male. Like it goes down to, fuck, it's crazy. Because I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm an alpha male. I get shit done. I know how to get shit done. But there's things that I know I can't get done. Or there's a lot of, like, alpha male is not just one fucking thing, fool. Just like a beta male is not a one thing. There's so many things. It's just, as a human, you're built of so many different things that make up a person or a woman or a man or whatever the fuck. You could be alpha in certain things. You could be beta.
Then what does it matter?
That's the point. That's what I was gonna get to. That we think we care too much what other people think, and I'm included in that. I give a fuck what people think when I should only give a fuck what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. You know, this is one of those. This is one of those crystal clear times that I am gonna fucking agree with you, dog.
And it's the truth. I think we care too much about what people think.
No. Don't say we. You care too much about what people think. I've gotten to the point. I've told you this. Like, even on the show,
I believe that you care. That everybody cares no matter what.
I care about. Okay, there's certain things I have.
Exactly
No, wait.
point.
Let me finish. I have certain insecurities. We all have insecurities.
Of course.
If insecurity is attacked in me, it's gonna make me think about my insecurity, but it's not gonna dictate my actions. Does that make sense?
Maybe not to a certain extent, but I am 100% sure that there's something. Not everybody's perfect, right?
No, we're not.
So there has to be something that you care about what other people think.
But here's the thing. It goes back to the
Whether the people are everybody
but,
or whether the people are just one person.
But it goes back to the same shit, dog. And you gotta listen to me, fool. You gotta start listening to me on the podcast, dog. What did I tell you perfection was?
I can't remember.
There you go. It's making the mistakes, fool, and learning from them, right?
Gotcha.
Perfection. Nobody's gonna be fucking mistake free. Let's face it.
No, of course
no
not.
one's ever gonna be
Nobody's
mistake free.
perfect.
And nobody's perfect. Why? Because there's so many things that we fucking do every day that it's impossible, right?
Yeah.
You can make you think you're making the best decision, but it's the wrong decision in some.
Yeah.
It's like a test, right? You get correction test. They give you your test. You got this. They give you fucking 10 minutes. I don't know if you guys ever had this in college, where it's the corrective. Boom. You get 10 minutes to fucking redo your formulas, and they give you a second chance. That's what perfection is, right? You could get a perfect score after that.
Well, I think
Like, what's perfection for? What?
It like for me, it's just that. It's just fixing it. You don't have to have it.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to have.
I don't even think. I think what you're saying, fool, or what I'm getting out of it is that as long as we're alive, we have a second chance.
Always second,
So,
third, fourth, fifth.
Because
sixth.
I fallen victim to like believing shit. Like I've done things. Obviously, I've done a lot of mistakes in my life. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to the girls on the way here that it's fucking crazy. Like I was talking to my daughters, right? Because they're getting to an age where they're making mistakes, and some mistakes are like, "Fuck!" Like, what are you doing? Like,
some more
shit that I
life
made.
changing.
Yeah, some are life changing, some whatever, right? And so I'm like, you know what? Doesn't matter. Like you get a, I guess, redemption. Like you get to redeem yourself to yourself, whether the other people or person or whoever the fuck you don't redeem yourself to, you get to redeem yourself to yourself. So not gonna like I've fallen victim to not victim, but I've fallen into my own thoughts about like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not perfect, so fuck it, I'm just gonna, that's who I am, or that's what I am. And it's not like that, fool. It's like, no, that's what you did, mistakes that you made. Some are easy to fix, some are gonna take a long time to fix. But no matter what, you just gotta redeem yourself to yourself. And if anybody else sees it, then that's cool. And if they don't, as long as you redeem to yourself, that's what matters. You know what I mean?
100%. You know, the thing that bothers me is that, dog, we get second, third, fourth, fifth, bunch of chances and shit. Sometimes we just keep repeating it and shit.
Yeah, that's the hard part, not learning, doing the same mistakes over and over.
But you think it's learning for you? You think we just don't give a fuck?
No, I don't. I'm not gonna say it's not giving a fuck, fool, because that's not fair. Maybe it seems like you don't give a fuck, but maybe it's just not, the person hasn't learned it the right way. Because think about it, it's like school. You could teach a problem, or you could teach a teacher. Is not gonna get through every student, right? That teacher could say something 3 different ways, and the student's still not gonna get it. But here comes Sisko, and he fucking says it somehow in the way he said it. Eric got it. And he's like, that shit makes sense. But I'm like, motherfucker, I just told you that like 10 times, and I told you in 10 different ways. I was just not the person to teach it to him.
Damn, fool, you spitting today, dog.
Hey, dog, but you know what, fool? This is the last time I ever give this for advice, dog, because we spit in fucking the same shit. we need other people to tell them shit.
No,
we're
it's
not
true.
we're not the teachers.
not
Or
the
maybe
teachers,
maybe it's not the person telling it. Maybe it's the person receiving it too. Maybe it's not ready. And mentally, you're not ready to receive that message.
Let me ask you this. No, because this is interesting. Since like we've known each other, we just talked about it from fucking elementary school, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you not take shit that I say literal because you think I'm being hard on you? Do you think because you know I'm not saying just in general right now, but just in general things.
It's not that. I think we all know.
Is it our friendship, our relationship?
No,
Like what is it?
It has nothing to do with our friendship. It has to do with me internally. Like when people tell you, okay, so we all know right from wrong. We all know. I think if you're smart enough, or even if not smart, but if you're conscious enough, you could tell the truth, or not the truth, but just you can make a decision, okay? But I feel like sometimes we choose to stay in certain situations and certain mentalities because of many reasons. And I'm learning that as I'm getting older, as I'm going through therapy and shit. Because I go to therapy, yeah, I go to therapy, motherfuckers. Now I'm being more truthful in my therapy sessions, as in before I wasn't. So I'm learning new things, right? I'm learning that we choose to stay in certain mindsets. So even though we know that's not the right mindset.
So okay, so any advice that I've given you, you've been going to therapy, still doesn't answer my question, Doc.
Yes, I'm answering your question. I'm saying that it has nothing to do with who told me, with our friendship. It has to do with the fact that I chose to take what you told me, and I still made a decision. Said, this is what I think is best for me at this point mentally. Whether that was the wrong thing, I could still choose to think that was the right. I could still choose to be in a certain way, whether that's right or wrong. And not saying that your advice was right or wrong either. I'm saying I took it, and at that moment, my mindset, my emotions, everything that is me said, fuck it, ignore it, or fuck it. You know, it's useful. Put it in the back burner and use it when you really really need it. And it's like there's times when you're like, oh shit, fuck, I should have listened. It's not that I didn't care. It's not that you didn't mean shit. It's not about our friendship. None of that. It's not about comfort. It's about a choice, and I made a choice.
Because I will be honest, and I didn't ask it to be like a dick and shit. I asked it because, for example, sometimes a stranger's advice and shit carries more weight than someone you've known all your life, and that's weird to me, you know. But I also understand it now. You know, being on the podcast, we talked to a lot of people, and a lot of the shit they say is like, "Oh fuck," and I think a lot of it has to do with the same thing that we talked about earlier: insecurities and judgment. Like, I feel like you've known me for so long, and that's the other thing. I feel you and I have had this conversation, how I communicate things to you and in certain ways, and how you communicate things to me in certain ways. That, hey, that's not the way to communicate with me, and that's something we learned late, right?
Yeah.
So like hearing it from a stranger, it's like it's clear, it's so direct, and it's so like not judgmental. Does that
There's
make
no
sense?
relation.
Now, okay, now I see what you mean.
There's
yeah,
no
you're
relation
right.
there.
So you're right. In that sense, then yes, it is because of our friendship. Because now that you put it in that sense, I'm like, I kind of see it as in like, and I'm pretty sure that's what you mean in your end. I see it as in like, you know my life. You know a big part of my life. Maybe you don't know everything, every single detail of my life, but you know a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? You're saturated with my life. That when you tell me,
I'm oversaturated with your life.
Shut the fuck up. So I feel like, and I know that you care. So it's like, okay, cool. Like this fool's telling me he cares, but at the same time, maybe he's overthinking it. Like he just knows too much, or he doesn't really understand me, even though he knows me. He should know me and he should understand me. But then when somebody else that nobody fucking know, that doesn't know shit about you, somebody that shouldn't care, or somebody that doesn't care, tell you a certain way, it just hits harder because it's like, maybe I'm not the only one thinking this way. It's like, or maybe he's gone through something similar to me, like, oh, Cisco didn't go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? So how would he know? Like, I get it. He cares about me, but Cisco didn't go through everything I'm going through. You had a different lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? That kind of affects things. It's kind of like, fool, you don't know what it's like to walk to school fucking every day. You don't know, like, things like that.
I walked
This-
through that alley
thi-
too, dog.
This motherfucker. This
you know what's
motherfucker had a
crazy?
car, I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Me and my girl were talking about this the other day. We went walking, and then she was like, "How come you feel like you?" Because I always tell her I feel like I shut down in conversations because like I can't relate to what the people are talking about. She's like, "Why do you feel like you need to relate to it?" She's like, "As long as you're hearing them out, or like if you're validating what they're saying, like that's all that matters. Like sometimes they don't need you to relate to it, or like I don't know. I always have that thing where I always try to relate to whatever it is that they're saying, and sometimes like I don't know. I can't communicate if I can't relate to it. But
And you're right. It's not always about communicating, because I'm learning that now. Like it's like sometimes not what they don't want to hear what the fuck you want to say.
They just
It's
want
just
you to
shut the
hear.
fuck up and listen. And I get you. I know you've been telling me that for years. Fool, but I'm getting older and I'm realizing this on my own sometimes too. I'm like, okay, this person just wanted to tell me this, and shut the fuck up. They don't give a fuck what you gotta say. Sometimes it's just giving them a hug or letting them know I hear you.
Validate, yeah.
That's it. And in turn, it makes me understand, fool, like, oh shit, maybe sometimes that's all I wanted. I didn't want you. Like, I think I've told you this. I've called you, and I'm like, fool, I didn't call you for you to fucking tell me anything, dog.
Just want to vent.
And yeah, it's just about venting or getting it off your chest, because talking about it does help you.
Yeah, you keep it in, it's just gonna
That
bottle
should
up.
turn off fucking.
I know, but that was interesting though, dog. Because I used to tell you that when we started doing these. This is not the first time we've done this, right? Where we all sit down and we just haven't thrown it because it was a fucking mess, right? But I remember I told you, like, you don't always have to say something
Yeah,
on a topic, and that is something I guess that you do learn. Like, you don't have to relate to shit.
yeah, you know.
Like, we're not gonna relate to everything, Nick. We're not.
There'll
gonna
be
relate.
something where you can chime in, and then like it doesn't always have to just be about a back and forth
Nah,
conversation.
or even then, forget about it. He's talking about let's just say fucking. He's talking about being fucking in juvie, right? And his experience in there, but it might trigger a memory in me that's completely different. That I felt I was locked up in my fucking room, grounded. You know, it's completely different. It's not relatable, but it's still fucking something.
And you're right. And what I would have done is invalidated that. I would have, man, fuck you. You don't know what it's like. But realistically, is you've told me this. It's like it doesn't matter, fool. In your mind, that is like juvie. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you all the time, like, I don't understand why my daughter is always fucking tripping out. And then you're like, fool, to her, what you went through, yeah, that's just big, fool. And everybody,
She didn't go through that though.
she didn't go through that. So, and part of me goes, well, fuck, she gets treated good. You know, I don't beat them. I don't do nothing. None of the shit my dad did to me, right? It's like, why does she feel like the world is against her?
Do you guys feel that way? You guys are the youngest ones. Actually, both of you guys are the youngest ones in the family.
Feel about what?
Like, do you guys feel like we're too hard on or like your older siblings are too hard on you guys in that sense that because we had a different growing
Or maybe
up
not
and
your
shit?
older siblings, maybe your parents.
Yeah.
Or
No, well, I mean, you guys went through that. I'm sure your parents, our parents, made you guys feel like what you were going through wasn't shit because they went through worse in Mexico.
But I feel like you guys like your generation is judged more because
We
you
had
guys
it
have it
easy.
easier in sense, easier, I guess you can say, to whatever we went through, right?
Easier in what sense?
Like how do I say this? Like
Emotionally,
like your
you're
struggles.
allowed more
your
to say.
your struggles, like we
Like
had to
liberally.
we had to grow up fast. Like we can say we had to grow up a little faster in a certain sense, you know, and we had to kind of figure out because we're the oldest, so it's like we had to boom, you got to go to college, you got to get your job right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have that leeway where like other people have, oh, you know, you could take a fucking year off and go travel the world.
But that's
Shit.
also like a factor of like everything changing. Like you can't just get a job after school. So I
True.
mean, you can't just do that. My girlfriend just graduated from UCI with a degree in criminology. She can't get a job, so she's getting her master's to be able to get a job. Like
Yeah, that's
stuff's changing, so it's like hard to really even talk about. Because I'm not saying it's harder than like what you went through, because that's also hard having to get a job like right after. I think it's just different.
I think it's more like I think it's more like what parents
economically, even our parents at
But
the
that's
time.
not even that. It's what parents expect of you.
I think
That's
that's
true.
I think that's more the biggest difference is just like the expectations, like the societal expect. I think that's more the bigger difference.
Because if it was up to my dad, I'd be working at a
Like-
fucking warehouse with him.
Yeah, like the other thing we bring up a lot is like you talk about it with your kids, and I'd say the same shit. It's like we feel like, damn, how are these kids like struggling or throwing through these emotions when they have it all? You know, they have their own rooms, they have fucking everything, they got food, they got everything.
They get
And it's like-
Starbucks food. These
Yeah,
motherfuckers ask for Starbucks.
And like for us economically, my parents weren't when I was a kid. I remember like, and when I first started at that one, I don't know if you remember this. I had taped shoes and shit like that.
You
And
what?
I know my shoes were taped
Where?
at Elwin.
I don't remember that shit.
Yeah, I swear they even called my mom in saying that if they didn't have like we couldn't afford. I remember for like just economically,
Yeah.
you know, like we weren't the best. Same thing with you, right? And even your mom, like when she barely got here too, same thing, right? Economically.
Mhm.
But now they start settling, and then you guys are born,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of hold that against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How can you guys feel like this when you guys got it all? You guys didn't have to go through the fucking tape shoes. You guys didn't have to go through
That's a
the
good question.
not being able to
my
eat.
suffrage
Well-
and my struggles.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: do you feel like everything you guys went through when you were younger, like if somebody was there to hear you or somebody was there to validate you, whether it was a parent or somebody, that you would have felt that same way? I don't know if you felt that way. I know.
It's hurtful because
Mm.
we didn't
Good
have it.
question.
Looking at it back now, like the whole shoe thing, the whole struggles my parents went through doesn't bother me. It's more the feeling of like them showing things, like showing their love. Like even to this day, my family, with my cousins, my aunts, my grandma. My grandma's the only one that I really hug and kiss. With my mom, like it's holidays. That's when we hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with my cousins, like I haven't seen them in
See-
fucking years, dude. And we fucking, hey, what's up, anyone? Like this, like it's like one of those things that where we grew up a certain way. Like I think it's more that, like
See, with me, it's different, fool. I think because my dad didn't give me love. My dad never really said I love you. My dad never said, man, congrats. You know, my dad never fucking did any of that shit, right? Maybe it was validation, or maybe it was just I was seeking affection from my own father. My dad didn't do that shit. So I think with my kids, I'm more different, especially with my son. Like, not saying that I give him more love because I love all my kids equally. You know, my 3 kids
Yeah.
mean the same to me. But with my son, I think it's a different relationship. I think I have a different relationship with all 3 of them. Even the 2 girls are similar in age because each one of them is an individual. But with my son, the fact that he's a boy, a male figure, I want him to know that love is not something just for women. Because, you know, you grow up, we just talked
Yeah.
about it. Feelings is all for girls, astrology, all this
Yeah.
shit that, no, dog, like, I tell my son, he's about to be 9. And I tell my son, I love you. And he tells me, I love you, Dad. And he kisses me. Like we went to go see Kung Fu Panda on Friday. And he sits next to me. He loves sitting next to me. And I love sitting next to him. He's fucking giving me kisses me here. I give him a kiss on the cheek. I give him a kiss on the forehead. I'm constantly, I love you, I love you, I love you. Hugging him like, oh my God, my boy, my best friend. So I'm showing him affection. I'm not overdoing it because my dad didn't do it to me. I'm doing it because that's how I genuinely feel about my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like,
Do you feel like a part of you does it because that's what you wanted when you were small?
no, that's because I know I
No,
do
I
it
think so.
because I genuinely feel that about my son.
Yeah, but that's obviously
It's
it,
not
yeah.
because of my dad.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
not
That's what I'm saying. I'm
mean.
not overdoing it because of my dad. I'm doing it because I love my son and I want him to know that as a male, it's not bad for us to say I love you. It's not bad for us to show affection.
100%.
That doesn't make you whatever sexuality he chooses. Because I don't, my son's not gay or anything, but I've been asked, oh, what happens if Michael's gay? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. That's not gonna make me love him less.
Love is love.
I love my son. You know what I'm saying? I love my son.
Chilling with the gays, huh?
Huh?
Chilling with the gays.
Chilling with the gays. Nah, so I think it's just love for what, as a male. It's like what Sisko was saying. We grew up not getting that fucking love. It was more like hard love. It was more like, ya pendejo, ya levántate. And
I mean,
But
But, like,
I
to
feel
be fair, it's
Go ahead.
not like, well, at least from my experience, maybe because I'm also still first generation, but like from my experience, I get the same thing. Like, for example, something that my dad would always tell me is like, oh, that you're lucky that I was super tough on you because now you're prepared. Like that's kind of the mentality, right?
but what your older sister say
Mhm.
he was as tough as with you as it was with
Oh,
her?
they would say no, but I would say yes because listen, my no shade to my sisters. We all did like the best we could. Like we're all kids, and our dad is like mentally ill, and like no one knows how to deal with that when you're little. But I was the only one that dealt with him for a decade. Like I was,
Longest.
yeah, for 10 years, no one talked to him. I was the only one that talked to him. So to me, it's like ironic for them to be like, oh, I had it tough. I had to deal with him, but then like it's like, oh, but you had to deal with him for 10 years. But I don't know if they think like they think that it's like I'm the favorite, right? So like because we're men, so like for us, it's like of course like you're like what the fuck ever. It goes back to like what you said. Uh, since I'm like the man, like they don't even really think about, they don't even consider.
How you feel?
Yeah, it's just like yeah, of course.
And I'm asking something just because the way you talked about it right now. Have you forgiven?
Oh yeah,
Your dad
no,
for that?
yeah, I forgive. Well, yeah, I go to. Oh, my dad or
Yeah.
my
No, your dad.
sisters. I've
Your
forgiven
dad.
my sisters for it, but my dad for what? Forgiven for what?
For that, because at the same time, like this is something that
Oh,
I've
for
said-
like being tough on me.
yeah, no, for
Oh,
for,
no, yeah,
for him
because-
being the way he is, or for the way you grew up, or
Yeah,
for you
'cause-
feeling the way you do.
Yeah, because they're just doing the best they from like what they know. I don't need to forgive them necessarily, but just understand that there's not anything to really even forgive. It's just
Yeah.
people doing like the best they thought they could.
Yeah.
I know you've had different. Me and you have had conversations. You've said differently about my dad because we have, obviously everyone knows that's my brother, and you're the youngest, and you've told me. I think we both have talked about our dad,
Yeah,
and,
differently.
and I'm like, that's not the dad I know,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, that's not the dad I know, and
Yeah.
we've talked about my mom, and I've told him stories about my
He's
mom,
like, that's not the
and he's
mom
like,
I
that's
know.
not the mom I know. So like, what do you think about that? Like.
Damn.
That's a good yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question
Yeah.
because I've heard it from both of you guys actually.
Well, because
I've heard both sides, yeah.
because he just said right now that he thinks he had it just as tough as his sisters. But I know you told me you didn't have it as tough with my dad as I said I had it tough.
Yeah, I know
So-
I didn't have it tough like how you guys did with my dad for sure. Like, but my dad, he always told me too that when me and Daisy were born, that he wanted to change, and he made me believe in second chances because I know how he. I didn't see it firsthand, but I've heard everything. I've heard my mom tell me what you guys tell me. So the fact that he was willing to say, like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Mm.
and he stopped.
That is big.
That just made me feel so much different about him because it's like, fuck, everybody fucks up.
At
Just
least they're
being
aware
able to
how-
admit it, fool.
But
Yeah.
We talked about it
But
earlier,
see-
fool. Us as men, Dick, and remember, it was like we can't admit shit. Like we
Okay, but what's the point of him? Like I'm still gonna say this. Like, and I forget him. My dad. My dad and me. I talk to my dad. I love my dad. I can honestly say that I love my dad, even after all the shit that he put me through. You know what I'm saying? He affected me for a long time, fool. Like for a long time, everything that I did
Mhm.
was for him
Yeah.
to fucking finally one day just tell me I love you. You know what I'm saying? Even into my adulthood, fool. Even when I bought my house, fool, back in 2017. Like that was, I think, some of the last straws that I had with my dad, where I was just like, man, I'm done trying to fucking get attention, or I'm done trying to get validation from this man. I'm done. I know I'm my own man. I am who I am because of my situations and whatever. But he said something right now that I still don't agree with him. Right? I'm like, he said my dad decided to change and be a different man, and you're like, oh, you're praising him for he admitted it, and bam, good kudos, right? I still didn't see that man with me through his lifetime. Like he might have been like that with them, but my dad was not like that with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was still, after that point, he was still like that with me, even though he was different with them. Does that make sense?
yeah, 100%, fool. But you can't blame him because he doesn't know how.
Well, you're saying he just knew how with him and my sister.
because it's easier because he
No,
hasn't done that to them yet. He hadn't done that to them yet. So it's easier to apologize for something you've done to someone else, to a stranger. Like we talked about earlier, you can vent to a stranger, and accept their advice, but you can't accept it to your own, right? Like even us, like for a long time, it took you a long time to tell me, hey, fool, my bad.
Yeah.
I was a bad friend. When I was going through my struggles, I told you, hey, fool, I didn't go to you because I didn't want you calling me out, right?
Yeah.
So it's easier, fool. Like when you're running from the problem, it's easier to avoid the problem than to face it.
Yeah.
Once you've created an issue, instead of trying to tackle it and accept it and say it, what do? We try to divert to something else, right?
Yeah.
We had a fucking 30-minute conversation about a simple question, and we went off tangent for 30 minutes about. Oh no,
That
it's
was
about
10,
this.
that
It's about
was
that.
10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it
no,
was
those
not
are-
him.
those are long ass time, right?
Yeah.
And instead of just saying the simple words and keeping it simple, we try to fucking divert.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, dog. Like I've said, like we just have to fucking keep getting better and talking, dog. Like even this guy, I know certain things, and just hearing him, I've never heard your perspective on this, you know.
Well, yeah.
And-
Well, it's,
And
like,
I've known you
yeah.
for most of your life, and then like even with him, like I wanted to try to be like an older brother to him, but I just couldn't because at that time I wasn't a good person. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I wasn't myself or who I wanted to be. So how can I be something to someone else, right? And then even after like knowing your dad and finally meeting your dad in a sense,
you've met him?
yeah. So it's like I'm like, okay, this is oblivious to me because to me, like I'm a certain type of way with people. Like I've learned from my experiences, I'm not gonna judge people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm gonna hear people out and just to hear different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Like even with my dad, like you compare your dad to mine, two completely different people. Our experiences are still in somewhat similar. We still wanted something from him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't look for love from my dad. It's weird because I didn't need love. Like I understood it. I didn't get love from like my cousins. We all grew up together. We knew there's love. It's like we haven't fucking seen each other in 10 years, primo. But it's
Yeah.
like day one. We meet up. What's up, primo? What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Boom. Fucking let's go fucking play and fuck around and fight
Yeah.
at the fucking playground.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? So I grew up with a lot of people, a lot of family. But what I did want from my dad is all this shit. Like now, when I look back, the birds and the bees, you know, fucking hey, whenever,
For real.
My dad tried having that conversation with me, dog, when I was 17.
see,
and I'm like,
Bro,
dude, what the fuck are you gonna teach me about that
For-
shit now?
I never see. To this day, I never got a conversation about birds and bees, about fucking,
Same.
you know, trying to do this as a dad, as a fucking parent, as a man. Like my dad has had his breakdowns, fool. Like he was very emotional, you know. He had his struggles. I understand them. Like hearing his stories, I never took him too literal. But then hearing them from other people, from my grandmas, from my uncles, when he passed away, they would tell me stories. They would send me pictures, and it's like, damn, I forgot that this fool was human.
Yeah.
He had his baggage. He had a
Yeah.
lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Different trauma than mine. And it's like, fuck, like I didn't want that, but just like he felt shit, I wish he would have told me, like, it's okay, son, you're gonna go through shit. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit
Fool, I'm about to get emotional up in this bitch. My eyes are starting to water and shit.
Hey, fuck, this is turned into an emotional fucking podcast, bro. I mean, we were gonna talk about something else and we went to our hearts and shit or something. I don't know. It's not even Valentine's Day, fool.
I know, and honestly, dog, this is what I've kind of wanted for a long time. You know, we fucking, I feel like we've all, honestly, I think a lot of our friendship now is we have a lot of talks on the phone. We talk every day pretty much, but a lot of our communication with our lives happens on here, you know,
Yeah.
or like with our guests when we're talking to our guests. A lot of things, it's always podcast related. Like this fool said, he's learned a lot. I've gotten closer to this guy. I don't think I've ever texted you before until you joined the podcast crew. Like you know what I mean? Like I'd see
Hey,
him.
what does he text you? Say, are you coming, fool, or what?
No, but like we talk
Where you
about
at?
shit, and like I've like him being here and interacting with him outside of his family is a completely 360 experience, right? So
Yeah.
like hearing things from him, like when we're talking, it's completely different, and I think that's what we needed to. That's what I've always wanted us to share, be able to share.
I don't think it happened before because honestly, fool, I don't think we were ready. I don't
Yeah.
think. I still don't think we're 100% ready because
Well,
there's a lot of
100%.
shit.
I feel like we diverted a lot, but for our first time, like
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
we were to have a conversation that flowed and shit, and we
Yeah,
I think it was good the like theme that we had about like generation. I think that's if we keep doing like these, this is a good theme to keep doing. Like, because you guys are like we're
It's
like
different. It's too different.
Well, of course, you guys are gonna have your opinions about different things.
of course, but yeah, that's the
But
whole point
but
of
I'm
this.
talking about like us opening up, like
yeah,
fool.
yeah.
Like I'm getting older, fool. I mean, my birthday's next month, guys. There's the eye thing.
No, the mouth.
Oh. No, but my birthday's next month, fool, and you know, I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm gonna say the 30s are gonna be long gone. obviously.
52.
So,
52?
no, fuck that. Not 52. So, you know, but the 30s are going to be long gone. And this is my last couple weeks in my 30s. And I still feel young inside. I still feel young mentally, but I also feel wiser mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to change my mentality about a lot of shit, fool. I've been doing, I was thinking about that. I was telling the girls, I'm telling you, I talk to my daughters a lot. And I was just saying, like, damn, my teens, my tens, maybe between 10 and 19, I did a lot of fucked up shit. I did a lot of shit that I'm just like.
That's not teens, fool.
Well,
Well,
you got to remember, fool,
Oh.
I grew up early. I started working when I was 12.
13 was the teen.
I got you, but I was doing shit already
Okay.
at a young age, fool.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
starting to get in trouble. So, you know, from like 11, 12 years old, I was drinking at 12 years old, fool. You know what I'm saying?
I was drinking at 8, dog, 6.
So there you go. So you grew up early. So between my 10s and my 19s, I did a lot of dumb shit. Some of the dumbest shit I've ever done. Then my 20s, I did the same thing. I did a lot of dumb shit. I didn't know how to be a man. I thought I was a man, right? My version of what a man was so fucking crazy that I did a lot of dumb shit. I made a lot of stupid decisions, and I get it. It's part of growing up, right? It's part of what makes me. And then in my 30s, I had a major life-changing event. You know what I'm saying? Major life-changing events. And it's like, okay, wake the fuck up. There was shit that I already had on lockdown, you know, career-wise, family-wise, I had a lockdown. You know, other things I had locked down. But there's shit that I was like, okay, dawg, tweak the shit out because the 40s are coming and ain't no joke no more, fool. You gotta be prepared. This is what is gonna make you as a man, or are you still not ready to be a man? You know what I'm saying?
Have you?
What's up?
No, go for it. Go for it.
I'm not saying that I'm 100%. Like I said, it's an evolving thing, fool. But I think mentally wise, I've evolved a lot. Fool.
I'm going to finish it with this last thought, dog.
Well, he had a question. Hold
All
on.
right.
Oh, because I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast and him and Cat Williams were talking, and Cat Williams was talking about how he lives his life in sections. So every 7 years he lives a new life. So he lives multiple lives rather than one long life. Like from 1 to 7 he lived his kid age. From 7 to 14 he lived, you know, obviously 7 to 14, and then 14 to 21 it was a different life for him. And I was gonna tell you that why don't you look at it that way once you hit the.
Well, that's how I'm looking at it now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at this next milestone as in, okay, things are different. I'm gonna bring things from my past to that because you can't just forget.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't live a new life because you got
You can't just live a new
baggage and
life. Fool.
shit.
I'm gonna bring that with
That's
me,
true.
but it's gonna shape me differently. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
a good point.
I'm not just
I
gonna
would've wanna
abandon
ask him,
everything.
like, what do you
Homeboy's carrying his fucking child support, dog.
Nah. But you know what I mean.
You're like, nah, that was in my past life.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for that child support, dog.
But you know what I mean.
I'm gonna finish it with this thought, dog.
Go for it.
Next year, Mike's gonna be saying the same speech because nothing's gonna fucking change.
Nah. See, hey, doubters gonna doubt, haters gonna hate. But honestly, you know what? It comes down to what? Comes down to what I believe, right?
There you go.
So at the end of the day,
If you're happy, you're happy.
if I'm happy, it's up to me, fool.
All right, everybody. We're gonna end it there.
Peace out.